Welcome back to Horsemanship 101 again. This isn't the video I was wanting to start off with, but I thought I would do a quick little introduction of this horse and talk about a couple of subjects that she brings up. May as well introduce it to you. This pretty little girl here, her name is Molly. That's a barn name. She's got a registered name too, but we're not going to bother with that. We never use it. I actually sold her over 4 years ago and just acquired her back recently. And I want to talk about a couple of things that she brings up. First, I'll answer a couple of questions that you're probably already thinking is, no, I didn't sell her because I didn't like her. I actually love this horse. This horse is awesome. This is an amazing horse. She's a unicorn without a horn. I didn't buy her back to get her out of a bad situation. She was being very well cared for where she was. I actually went and checked up on her after about a year after I'd sold her. And it was easy to tell that, she was in a good place and well cared for. Well, that was 4 years ago I sold her. And I've learned a lot in 4 years. And just to put things into perspective is in 4 years you can become a journeyman just about any trade. You can get a university degree. Well, not one that's good for a whole lot, but it can be done. And, you can acquire a lot of knowledge, especially if you're specializing in one particular subject. I'm specializing in horses, and I've even narrowed that down a bit to, I'm specializing in behavior. There's, various anatomy, nutrition, hoof care, all kinds of things. I dabble a little bit in some of that stuff just to be well-rounded, but, I specialize in behavior. That's what I do. And I want to talk about how much you can learn in a given period of time. Now consider, 4 years sounds like a lot, but, the average horse lives somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 years. So 4 years isn't a lot to spend learning if you're going to spend the rest of your life with that horse. Now, my learning curve is, tapered off. I'm not learning as fast as I used to, but I'm still learning and I probably never will stop. Fourth year, I probably learned about a quarter of what I did in the first year. So if you spend even 1 year, diligently learning, you're going to acquire a fair bit of knowledge. Now, I probably had a little bit more time on my hands than some people for doing that. Plus, I've been extremely passionate and diligent about doing that. So I've been able to acquire quite a bit of knowledge in 4 years. Now, this brings back to the horse again. In 4 years, I've learned a lot, and when I had her before, she had a few issues, a few problems, but I just kind of wrote them off to that's her personality, and no big deal. That's just who she is. But I identified them, thinking about them over the time. I realized that they weren't just her personality. There were problems with her training. And I'm not going to criticize her trainer because I didn't train this horse originally. I bought her trained, and her trainer did things that I can't do with a horse. But it's very easy to skip things or, go too fast with things. And then there's this little girl here, my faithful little assistant. Yeah, she's still around too. We're not getting rid of her. She's my friend. But, everybody has their own style and way of doing things. Like I said, I'm not going to bash her original trainer at all because, like I said, they did things with that horse that I can't do. But I want to talk about the value of groundwork and some of its uses. And see, what I'm going to do with this horse, now that I know what I know, is I'm going to restart her right from the beginning. Even though I've ridden this horse before and she's been ridden even recently, I don't plan on riding her again probably for a couple of months. We're going to start right from scratch and go through her groundwork because it's very easy to miss things or even go too fast if you get a particularly smart and willing horse and miss stuff. And I've already identified a number of things in the few sessions that we've had that, she's not 100% with, and we're going to be working on those things. So when I talk about groundwork, I'm not talking about mindlessly lunging your horse in circles for hours, okay? I'm talking about every movement the horse makes, desensitizing it, teaching it to respond to commands. There's just a ton of things that you can do in groundwork. And what we're going to do is go through step by step, and everything that we find, we're going to work on. If there's an issue with something, if it's not 100%, if she's a little not cool with something, we're going to work on it. And there's two aspects to groundwork. If a horse hasn't been educated at all, if you're starting an unhandled horse, you're educating the horse, you're teaching it things throughout the whole process. In a case like this one, she's already been fairly well educated, but I suspect there's some issues in there. There's some things that she's just not real good with, and so it's going to be more information to me than it is education to her, and that's why we're doing it. We're going to start from square one, and we're going to go through every single step, and we're going to find out where the sticky spots are, and it's going to be information to me. It'll tell me what we need to work on and where she needs a little help, and in time, we're going to have a marvelous horse here. So even if you do get a horse that's already trained, like a lot of people do, it still pays to learn a bit about groundwork and how to do it, so that you can go through it with your horse before you ever ride it, and find out what you're getting into before you get on the saddle, because that horse might just have some big issues that you didn't even realize when you got it. It may have been well trained, it may have been ridden for years, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have some holes in its training or some things that it's not 100% comfortable with. And by going through the groundwork and identifying these problems, you can prevent a lot of future problems in the saddle. So there you go. My new girl Molly, yeah, it's one of mine. She's going to be around for a while, and one of the reasons I introduced her is because she probably will be in a number of upcoming videos, because she does provide a number of issues that I'll probably be able to address in videos. And so I hope that helps a bit. The value of groundwork, very important, and take the time to learn. You can do it. Like I said, I've been at it for years. If you have even 1 year free time, instead of watching TV, put on a training video or something, spend a little time learning, and you'd be surprised what you can pick up, because like I said, I probably only learned a fourth in the fourth year of what I did in the first year. So if you spend 1 year diligently studying and learning, you can acquire quite a bit of knowledge. So there you go, folks. Get some education and do your groundwork, and look forward to seeing this girl again. Have a good day, folks.